As a newborn Saiyan prodigy would flex his power level, Trunks goes on to spar with Prince Sadala, and Gohan finally achieves Super Saiyan 4. The Grand Priest is of course keeping a close eye on all of these events. For the time being, he has faith in Goku and Vegeta to figure out the true nature of Primal Instinct. Since the inception of combat, no one, not a single individual has ever truly gained mastery over Primal Instinct. This ultimately causes the Grand Priest to believe that perhaps this instinct isn't supposed to be complete. It's supposed to be raw and chaotic, kind of like natural disasters, I guess. But things have started to change. Vegeta's almost hysterical control over his might during the battle against Frieza and the sparring session with Gohan greatly intrigued Goku and everyone else for that matter. However, the man who truly appreciated the thought and finesse in Vegeta's antics is none other than the Grand Priest himself. Of course, if you guys are new here, definitely go check out the entire What If Goku and Vegeta Wish Their Tails Back saga. It's probably the one I'm most proud of on the channel, and I'm sure you guys will love it. If you have been enjoying the content, definitely hit that like button and consider subscribing if you haven't already. And a huge shout out to all of the new members we've gotten recently for something that you of course never have to do. I really appreciate you guys that obviously want to help a little bit more, go the extra mile sometimes. It really does mean a lot. Gohan is up and he's completely sane now. He's even become able to finally attain the Super Saiyan 4 transformation, but something still wasn't right. He can't really pinpoint it, but there's this empty feeling of insecurity deep inside Gohan's heart. When he begins to think about it a little more, his mind instantly goes back to how Goku wanted him to face a real adversary sooner than later. Yeah, that ought to be it. Dad is out there finding someone who will really give me a difficult time. This kind of reminds me of the Cell games, Gohan reminisces. Hopefully nobody has to explode this time though. Little did he know his greatest adversary yet has not only already been chosen, it was also on the verge of awakening. A little less than 7 days until Gohan faces his toughest opponent yet. The reason he can't calm down isn't because he's scared. It's because of this itch. Having regained his tail, Gohan is now closer to the beast whose potential was unleashed during the Buu saga. That's right, he can't calm down because he knows. He knows that his mystic form or even his newly attained Super Saiyan 4 state aren't gonna be enough for whatever is coming. Therefore, it's about time that Gohan embraces his own primal instinct. Then there's Planet Sadala, Kale, and Zykor, who are in conflict over what their son's name should be. As you could probably imagine, Zykor wants to name him after the personification of violence. He wants his son to be named something like Keres. Kale liked it at first. I mean, it had a nice ring to it, and she also admits that it's going to be difficult to come up with a better name, but nah, she doesn't really want her son to be named after the goddess of violence. Vegeta is seen standing there with Caulifla and Kaba, and then he takes his leave, as there's definitely a better usage of his time. He goes to check up on Trunks and Prince Sadala. King Sadala is observing them as well. Hello, King Sadala, Vegeta says. Hello to you too, Vegeta, or should I say King Vegeta. You know, Zykor told me what you did to that Frieza guy. Guess we should be treating you as royalty from here on out, the king replies. Vegeta grins a little and then states, sure, suit yourselves. As for Trunks and Prince Sadala, it's more like an older brother tutoring a younger brother, except being careful is the last thing on Trunks' head. A couple of seconds after Vegeta joins, the prince passes out from exhaustion. Trunks gets a little worried and he wonders if he went too far. Seeing this, Vegeta walks up to them and slaps the prince into waking him up. King Sadala gets taken off guard, but he laughs it off. Good, that's how Saiyan warriors should be. When the prince is finally awake again, Vegeta gives him a few words of advice. Young man, power comes in response to a need, not a desire. You must need it like oxygen. I'm afraid that's the only way. Prince Sadala is absolutely mesmerized by Vegeta's words. The memories of Vegeta confronting Hit and then Zykor are still imminent in his head. He holds Vegeta in a higher regard at this point than his own father. To him, Vegeta is the pinnacle of Saiyanhood, the peak itself. For some reason, Vegeta could see it in his eyes. He slaps the prince again. Put no one on a pedestal, boy. Either surpass me or perish with the weak, Vegeta asserts. He then walks back inside and asks King Sadala to join him. Trunks knows exactly what his dad's up to, and therefore, he also prepares his mind to teach the prince how to become a Super Saiyan, no matter how rough it's gonna be. Trunks turns his head back to see how the prince is holding up, and he doesn't dislike what he sees. The prince's eyes were still the same, though they were still relaxed and kind, but his aura was fuming. Nice. Now let's try this again, Trunks says. Back on Earth, Broly asks Piccolo if there's any way to bring his friends Chile and Limo from King Kai's planet, as it had been a while since he last saw their faces. I'm not the right guy for that, Broly. Go ask Goku, Piccolo says. And well, this is how Piccolo finally catches a break to meditate alone. As for Goku, he's overseeing Goten and Oob at the moment. He's been training them for quite a few months now. It takes Broly less than a minute to find Goku though. What's up, Broly? Goku asks. And so Broly explains how he'd like to see his friends. No way, it's really been 9 months? Oh, you should have asked me sooner, man. How can someone even survive that long on King Kai's tiny little planet, Goku replies. Broly then takes a moment to explain how he didn't want his friends to get hurt by him just because he couldn't control the primal instinct. But now that he's been meditating regularly for 9 months, he's confident enough in containing himself. Hearing this, Goku gives Broly a pat on the shoulder and says, "You, my friend, never cease to amaze me. Hold on, I'll go get your friends right now." Broly smiles a little and takes a step back. Goku then uses instant transmission to fade away and then suddenly pops up on King Kai's planet. "I heard you trash talking my planet, Goku. Do you have any shame? It's been decades and you still haven't revived me or my planet. Like, come on," he says. "Sorry, King Kai, I'll get back to you later," Goku replies as he grabs Chile and Limo and immediately gets out of there. "Here you go, Broly, I got your friends," Goku says. Broly gives them a huge thumbs up and then sets out with his friends to just go explore a little bit. These past 9 months have been really hard for all 3 of them. And then there's the topic of this entire arc, Gohan. Every night he goes out into the wild and tries to understand his Super Saiyan 4 state. Dad and Broly were significantly stronger than me, and Vegeta was absolutely unbelievable. I have to figure out a new level of strength on my own, otherwise I'm of no use, Gohan says to himself. The time left until the emergence of the perfect primal android is only 3 more days. Going back to Goku and the boys, "Dad, do you think it's about time we tell Gohan about Cell Max? It won't really be that funny if he just goes haywire and not even Gohan can stop him. We need to give him time to mentally prepare," Goten says. "Well, that's where you're wrong, Goten. Your greatest enemy will never give you a warning in advance, and by the way, Gohan is already prepared. I experience his power level increase every night," Goku replies. "Yeah, I'm not too sure what to think of that," Goten says. Subsequently, the Grand Priest has gone and visited the forbidden section of Universe 6. He arrived here using the traditional route so as to not alarm Vados and Champa. It took him 2 whole days, but he's finally here at Planet Moors. The Grand Elder greets him. "My, it has been forever, hasn't it? How have you been, Lord Thanatos, first ever god of destruction?" the Grand Priest asks. "I've been well, but I would feel better if you lift the curse off of me. I too crave the vastness of the multiverse," Grand Elder Thanatos replies. The Grand Priest laughs. "That's exactly what I'm here for, my old friend. I've lifted off the curse, and you are now free to leave this planet," he says. "Wait, what? Are you serious?" Thanatos freaks out. "You bet. I do need you to do a little something for me though, and I believe you already know what this is going to be about," the Grand Priest states. "I will happily oblige, just say the words. My freedom is worth everything," he says. Young warriors from Universe 7 are finally showing some promise. The time when Primal Instinct will be completed is much closer than you think. So I want you to personally show these young ones the way, even if it means destroying them, the Grand Priest declares. Thanatos would simply reply with a smirk. Long before the age of the 12 universes or even the original 18 universe, the multiverse was one and the same. Moors is a planet that has existed since the beginning, and Lord Thanatos is the progenitor of a race of which Hit is a part of. He currently acts like Hit's great-grandfather, I guess, but truth be told, he's much older than anything Hit can even imagine, and for better or worse, he is the most proficient user of the incomplete Primal Instinct. He was confined to this planet because his powers became too much for the multiverse to handle, but now that he's out again, how will our Saiyans handle the man whose power is chaos itself? The Grand Priest takes his leave. He has decided that the final obstacle that Goku and Vegeta will have to overcome in order to achieve Super Saiyan 5 is the first ever God of Destruction, Lord Thanatos. Days continue to pass, and finally, only one night remains until the emergence of Cell Max. Gohan goes out into the wild and gazes at the full moon. He can feel it in his soul that it's only a matter of time now. Goku, on the other hand, goes up to Piccolo and explains everything to him at this point. How he helped Dr. Hito with the creation of the ultimate primal android. Piccolo isn't too sure what to think of this. I mean, this whole idea is very worrisome at the least, but he's used to Goku's thinking process at this point. Fast forward to a few hours later, Gamma 1 and Gamma 2 are already up and ready. Now, all that's left is for Cell Max to complete his synthesis. Piccolo and Goku are still at the lookout. He can't help but ask Goku, will everything really be okay? He might just nuke Earth right away and then go on some uncontrollable rampage. Don't even worry about it. He's been programmed to only go after Gohan and Gohan alone, but I'm afraid he's not gonna stop until Gohan's blood is completely dead, Goku replies. You know, Goku, you can really be insane sometimes, Piccolo comments. Then, right as the sun begins to come out from across the horizon, Cell Max's pod would explode. His aura is so overwhelming from the very beginning that Goku and Piccolo can notice him from the other side of the world. Broly actually gets a little startled by this as well, and even the Grand Priest, who had been observing everything up until this point, isn't quite sure what to think of where this might go for everyone. And well, as for Gohan, whoever this is, he knows that this is it. But what he doesn't know is that his greatest nemesis ever, who had finally been born, is gonna look a lot more familiar than what he might realize.